Well, how about this? Okay, we're live now, I guess. Can you see anything now? I mean, it'll probably take about 10 more seconds. So,
Oh, here we go.
okay.
Life.
Hey! Okay, great. Great, we're here. Okay.
Life. I mean,
Be-
I do see things. I do see things. It's just, it's behind on my end.
That's fine.
But that's fine. It's not going to be a big deal. Because
Great.
now I can look at the chat and see things. And as long as everyone's on the same page, I'm not worried.
Okay, that's great.
Shush.
All right, so, well,
My phone went off.
we're going to pretend that. Well, no, we're just going to keep going from where we left off. But if you're just.
We can do some brief introductions,
Okay, yeah, we'll at least do that. Okay, so.
if you don't mind.
After those technical difficulties, hello, I'm Scurry. You also know me as a Tactician musician or Tactimuse, depending on where you've heard of me from. And today I'm joined by a friend. Introduce yourself.
Hi. My name is LuckIzLucky, and I'm super excited to be here today. I am a streamer who specializes in RPGs and JRPGs and the like. And I'm excited to be here to talk about Xenoblade Chronicles because that's one of my favorite game series. So, thank you for letting me on to this show.
All right, good to be here. All right, so basically what we're doing today is we are, for the most part, primarily we're going to be talking about this, the Xenoblade Chronicles 3 trailer and breaking down talking about our first impressions of it and, you know, just kind of talking generically about it to avoid spoilers in the first,
Absolutely.
few minutes of the stream. But then after that, we're actually going to dive kind of pretty deep into it and talk about, spoilery stuff. Talk about what we think, about our theories, any other speculations we have that have anything to do with the original games. And that's why we say spoiler alert, because we're going to be talking about the older games. Xenoblade Chronicles 1, which I think both of us haven't gotten through all of it, but we know quite a bit of it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
at
okay.
this point.
And then Xenoblade Chronicles 2, we played all of it. I've played
All of it.
yeah, and I've played all of Xenoblade Chronicles X. I won't talk too much about X because I know he hasn't played it, but I'll talk about stuff here and there about it just to keep that as spoiler free as I can. But yeah, so we'll be spoiling a lot. Maybe even tying in some Xenosaga or Xenogears, depending on what the trailer might have anything to do with. Just depend,
Yeah.
go playing it by ear at this point. But for now,
Yes.
we're just sort of going through our general thoughts on the Nintendo Direct. First of which, we started off with Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes.
Yeah,
I
we were
think it was
talking
called.
about that. We were talking about that just a few minutes ago. By the way, before we continue, I just want to shout out, hey, Straight Jacket, so happy of you to join us on the stream tonight.
Oh, nice.
Super awesome of you to be here.
There you go. Okay.
All right, so let's go ahead and talk briefly about Fire Emblem Warriors.
All right. Yeah. Well.
Or we want to move on to No Man's Sky. Which one do we want to do?
Well, I mean, basically, it came to us being like, oh yeah, Fire Emblem Warriors. Okay. That's about it.
Not that impressive.
Yeah.
I'll give it a whirligig because I do want to see what it's really about. If it's good, then I'll let people know it's good.
Yeah.
But if it's bad, I'll just fuck it.
Yeah. I mean, like, this could be because just from what we saw from this trailer, I'm not seeing anything that puts it on par with like Age of Calamity, because Age of Calamity was actually a massive improvement upon the original Hyrule Warriors, and this could be that for the original Fire Emblem Warriors, but I'm not seeing anything that really does that, quite yet. Anyway,
I don't know yet, honestly. I did play Fire Emblem Warriors before, and it was pretty good. But over time, it started to get like repetitive. What I want to see from Age of Calamity is to keep the same idea that they did for. What am I talking about? What I want for them to do on 3 Hopes is the same elements on what they did on Age of Calamity, where they kind of like mix things up a little bit in some way. So I want that to be a thing, but
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see.
Only time will tell.
It's a lot of like it's like ugh.
And this seems like one of those games that might sort of get
Okay.
a 10-second reel on an E3 Nintendo Direct or something like that, or a very short reel. I really hope they don't spend too much time on this on E3,
Yes.
and they probably will. You never know with Nintendo. Oh yeah, Mario Strikers. That was a surprise for me.
We'll see.
Yeah, that was one I'm like, okay, they're
Oh
bringing
yeah,
Strike.
I wasn't prepared at all.
Yeah, like they're bringing Strikers back finally, um, and like if it looks like they're actually. I did hear the original developers of the game, Next Level Games. They're coming back to do that, so that's good to know.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Oh, awesome. Now I'm looking forward to it. Now I'm really looking forward to it. I'll definitely play it.
yeah, so if they're doing it, then it's probably going to be at least at least good. We'll just say that. Let's see. After that, Splatoon 3, Salmon Run. I'm a big fan of Splatoon. Salmon Run was a mode that was already in Splatoon 2. They're just sort of adding, like, I guess, new bosses and stuff. It's not really anything that we haven't seen in Splatoon 2. So, like, if you're looking for something to sell you on Splatoon, or at least Splatoon 3, I would say wait for another trailer. Maybe the E3 trailer, I would say. Just because, like, I'm not seeing... I mean, the Salmon Run mode is great. It's basically zombies from any other shooter. It's like zombie horde mode or something like that. So if you're into those style of games, but in a Splatoon, but you want to see that in a Splatoon, in a Splatoon style, then you would try that. I'd say it's decent enough. What else did we have? Scrolling through here. The Kirby game. Kirby 3D.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
super excited about this. The Forbidden Land, dude, this was kind of like, whoa, I'm so excited for a Kirby game because it's like the same kind of people, I think the same people behind Mario Odyssey got a hold of this game.
Oh,
and
yeah.
improved Kirby a little bit more than normal. Because, like, we got mouthful mode, which looks painful as fuck.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god, what have they done to my boy?
Yeah, not only that, it's like they took what's the word for this? Like how you said it was with Mario Odyssey, how you use the hat to like take control of things. This seems to be that, but like in a Kirby style, but in a more whimsical way too, because with Mario, all you did with Mario is that like Mario's hat just went on top of whatever you threw it at. This Kirby literally just becomes the thing he just shape shifts.
Possession in it. First is possession. Now it's war.
Yeah, he basically
he's just deep throating things.
Yeah, that's. Even the way that the announcer said it, he was like mouthful mode. The way the announcer said it, it was because I remember you saying something about that.
Good still.
Yeah, like.
Yeah, I mean, was like, that looks painful.
Like the mechanics themselves, I think they'll be fun. It'll feel like Mario Odyssey probably, and that was a great game.
Absolutely.
So, but just the whimsicalness about it, and honestly, I wouldn't expect nothing less from Kirby anyway. So, Portal 1 and Portal 2 coming to Switch. It's Portal 1 and Portal 2 coming to Switch. What was that? Oh, Nintendo Switch Sports. That was a weird one.
That one was received in a very unique way, if I had to be frank.
Well, first,
I don't know how I feel. I'm like,
first impression.
I was off and on about it, to be honest.
I think both of our first impressions on it were like, "Where are the Miis?" And then it wasn't until like 2 or 3 minutes into the trailer where they're like, "Oh yeah, they're still Miis. We promise." That was funny.
The Mii still exist, by the way. They still are part of the game, but look at all this new stuff. And I'm just like, I don't care for the new stuff. I want the Miis.
Yeah.
We're here for the Miis, and you give us the Miis. You can take all this stock shit that you got going on over here. We can throw it down the toilet. Nobody cares. I want to face that one Mii that always shuts us down, no matter what. You know the guy, that dark-skinned man, bald, just always a professional will wreck your shit.
Oh, is it?
That's the guy I want to face. I don't want to face like stock Chadley from wherever. I want to face Dave. That's his name. Hey, Xbox Squid.
Xbox
nice
Squid, we got
tonight.
Hey. So, for right now we're just kind of going over the direct for now, basically until this counter goes down. Then we're talking about Xenoblade. After this, I forgot how long they spent on this. Jeez, this is like they spent almost like 10 minutes on this. Holy crap. Then we go through.
Yeah, they spent a lot of time. They were really proud of. I think this was like the main course for the whole direct. They were like, sports is going to be the most important part of this. And it was received in mixed reactions.
Yeah, the funny thing was that it's funny you bring that up too, because they had Mario Strikers in here too, and some random baseball game. It's weird how much.
And that I was actually pissed off about, because I hate sports video games. You want to play a sport? Go outside.
Yeah.
Go outside. Just go outside. No one gives a shit.
Yeah,
That's me, though. I never liked sports games. I don't care if you like Madden. I don't care if you find it fun or anything like that. I hate those things.
Yeah.
They feel like a waste of time.
What?
Why would you make me do these? But that's my opinion. People can have their own. I'm fine with that. I just don't like it.
All right. So moving on, we got Earthbound.
Anyway, enough about that opinion. Let's talk about Earthbound.
Yeah, we have Earthbound and Earthbound Beginnings coming to Switch Online. This is something that I think was pretty expectable. I mean, eventually this is going to come out on the Switch Online. So hey, if you got Switch Online, you can play this Earthbound and Earthbound Beginnings. Speaking of which, during my reaction, I was kind of like, oh, but where's Mother 3? What I didn't know was apparently Mother 3 has been on the Nintendo Switch Online for a while.
Oh, really? I had no clue.
Call me
no clue.
Yeah, call me completely ignorant, but I don't remember. That might have been during E3. We might have seen that, because I don't remember. I'll have to figure out where that trailer was. Because I've reacted to that before, but I'm surprised I didn't remember that. They're good if they're not just real life sports in a game. Yeah, like for example,
Yes.
Yeah, Mario Strikers. Like I get that, or even Mario Tennis Aces. I mean, that's a little.
Oh,
yeah.
There was this one football game that I watched Markiplier and Tyler play. It was one of their latest videos from like a couple of days ago. It's a football game, but it's with like D&D characters, so to speak. It's sort of like it's like fantasy characters, fantasy monsters and whatnot. But you got these enormous monsters that fight each other on the field, and it's like strategic battle stuff mechanics. And I'm like, this is the type of sports games I want to play. Otherwise, it's boring.
Yeah, I think it's an older game, right?
It's called Cabal League.
Okay, yeah.
That's what it's called.
So definitely haven't heard of
I want
that.
to play that. That's fun.
But yeah, stuff like that where they actually, make it different, somewhat more more interesting for people who play video games, But yeah,
Yes.
Next we had Mario Kart, the new Mario Kart tracks.
The Mario Kart courses.
Um,
Loads of courses.
So they're adding
All the courses.
They're adding 48 DLC Mario Kart tracks, which I basically
So many tracks.
Mario Kart 8 already has 48 tracks in it. So they're basically doubling the
Oh
track.
gods.
Yeah. They're doubling the
Oh gods.
Yeah. The thing is it's $25, but the way I look at it is you're doubling the amount of races you can do with, I guess, cuz the game
That is cool though.
the game costs $60 by itself. Um and you're paying $60 for 48 tracks already, and adding another $25 on top of that. I think it's like if you I think it's at that point it's up to you. Like if you feel 48 tracks is worth $25, that's kind of, $25 is nothing to it's nothing to it's nothing to sneeze at. $25 is a lot of money.
That's the next thing.
Yeah, because
That is the next thing though. Because like, are we paying $25 a month for this? Because if that's true,
no,
I'm out. I'm gonna be honest. I am paying $25 a month for the same game. If I bought it, I want it, and I'm keeping it. That's just how it is.
I'm pretty sure
Anyway.
I'm pretty sure the $25 is for the whole course, for all 48 tracks. Like it's kind of like Smash Brothers. You pay for the fighter pass. You get the content for that whole expansion. So, and they reel it out, timely, but you get it. And I think if you have the like expansion pass or whatever for the what does the timer say, an hour? What the heck? Reset that. There we go.
Oh, an entire hour until we can go into spoilers, eh? Nice.
Hold on. Let's restart this. There we go. Okay. But yeah.
Technical difficulties.
So, for me personally, I think that's a good deal, but I can see why some other people would have, issues with that. But anyway, now we get to basically the whole reason for this video. Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I almost said 2. Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Okay, this is where we go into the
Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Hooray! Xenoblade Chronicles 23.
Big number 3, my lord.
All right, so
23.
Yeah. All right, so we'll go ahead and get to our impressions just on the trailer. We won't get into spoilers yet, but well, I thought it looked fantastic. Like this looks like,
I think it looks fantastic too.
to me, this looks like they are going to it almost looks like they're putting in elements from both Xenoblade 1 and 2, and they're combining and
that does remind me, actually.
Yeah. Well,
hold on a minute. Stray Jacket told me about this on Discord a while back. I don't mean to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
But if I can look it back into it, hold on. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 real quick. He told me that it is indeed a mix of 1 and 2. This was confirmed. Let me see if I can't find the actual thing real quick. An introduction to Xenoblade Chronicles 3 from an executive. Let's see. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and 10.5. Okay, so just 4 years since the release of Blade, we now bring you the latest story game from Monosoft. Okay, key visual features, blah, 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 blah. Yes, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is a new adventure bringing together worlds of Xenoblade Chronicles and Xenoblade Chronicles 2 to take players into the future. While there is some time left before the release of the game, I hope you look forward to it. So it is the future. It's confirmed. This is combination of both 1 and 2 sometime in the future.
Okay. We'll get into that later because I have plenty of theories for where this is going. But
of course,
as far as just, on the surface, what we're seeing, Um, on the Nintendo website. Okay, so I saw you,
Yeah,
Sam, or you said that was Straight Jacket, right? Yeah. Okay.
yeah, that's straight jacket.
So it looks like this game will actually have a more Xenoblade One style open world, because Xenoblade Two, you had to travel to different Titans to be able to, you had to manually travel to the different Titans to like explore explore them separately. But this one seems like you'll be able to get to pretty much, you won't there won't be there might be loading times, but it won't be all the same way that Xenoblade Two does it. Because I think,
Yeah. Okay, so if I may,
yeah, go
like I
ahead.
want us to continue, of course. But I want to go ahead and just like when you finish your thought next, I want us to take it all the way to the beginning of the Xenoblade 3 video and then just let it play
Okay,
so
okay,
we can just absorb everything,
great.
because there's a lot to talk about.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot. So let's just let it play through and then we'll break it down after that.
Alrighty. All right. Go ahead and play it here.
Because we'll commentate over it and whatnot.
Okay. By the way,
That's the way of our world.
these I think you can probably
Aye,
tell
aye.
this too. We're hearing a lot of voices
Tell me,
from
what possessed you
previous
to side
games.
with them?
We're fighting because there are enemies to kill.
I
Oh, yes.
refuse to believe you're him.
I knew it. I saw this coming.
You are.
I love the mechs. Oh, I'm looking at his Monado. It's
Yeah.
a little bit further, but I'm a little bit further behind. But he does have a Monado of his own, and I'm curious about what Monado that is.
Yeah. These environments look like they almost look like a combination of environments from 1 and 2. Because I can see 2 in some of these, and I can see 1 in some of these. You know what I mean? That mechanic.
Definitely see more Arcane.
Yeah.
It'll never replace the friends we lost. The flame
Napons.
has to go.
Yeah.
Huh.
like it.
Okay, these characters.
God, the anime Nopons. God, they look so cringe,
Yeah.
but they look cool at the same time. It's kind of like, ooh, what is going on?
All right. Well, there you have it. To me, the craziest thing about this is that it's coming out in September. That alone, like, completely surprised me.
I think that's cool because there was like a lot of leaks and whatnot that people were like rumoring that there's an Xenoblade Chronicles 3, but no one would really bite it, And I wasn't even biting it either. I was just like, if it comes out, it comes out. I don't know what else they would want to do at this point. To be honest, I would expect it to be pretty much closed. Like, it's the
Yeah.
end, so to speak. But no, they want to continue, and I'm all for it, quite
Yeah.
honestly. So there's a lot to break down in this entire trailer. Definitely a lot to break down.
Yeah,
like
'cause-
I saw Monado, we saw the masked people. There was plenty of like, I guess skells is what they're supposed to be called, but they look like mechs.
Yeah, they look like Mechon. The Mechon.
They look like Mechon. And there's just a lot going on just through this one trailer. Like, a lot of character arcs, definitely. People, a woman that looks exactly like Nia to me, but she had some work done, I guess. And then, like, I already mentioned the masked ladies. And I don't know if you know, but, like, my entire stream on my side is frozen. And no, it's not the YouTube stream. The YouTube stream's going fine.
Oh.
The Discord stream's like, ah! So I'll just walk back out and walk back in real quick.
Oh. Well, you know what?
Okay.
I did pause it, so that could be what you're seeing.
I don't know, man. It's loading right now, and I'm like, okay.
All right. Well, I'm gonna sort of keep it this way. Anyway, I think it's kind of messing with the.
Okay, here's what I'll do instead. All right, I'm gonna go on to YouTube, and I'm gonna look at the video on my own.
Okay, there we go. All right, because I think it's sort of messing with the Wi-Fi. But anyway, so what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
And actually, see if you can just pull up the specific Xenoblade trailer. But
Yeah, I did. I am right now.
okay, so the first of all, the first thing they open up with is these flutes, right?
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm looking at that right now.
I'm almost
Such a beautiful.
yeah.
So beautiful.
Yeah, I'm almost thinking this might have something to do with music, kind of like the Ocarina of Time has to do with the Ocarina, Zelda Ocarina of Time. I'm almost thinking that they might integrate that in here somewhere because both of the characters are using the flute. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So for some reason, and it keeps coming up, multiple times throughout the trailer. So I don't know if it's going to be in the same vein where you actually have to like hit notes to play songs or anything. It could be like a replacement for the salvaging mini game that you have to do, where you just hit quick time, events to play the notes or whatever. But
Yeah.
I think, we'll just have to see what that's about when we get there. As far as this main character, and honestly, all these characters, because there's a lot of characters that resemble characters from other games, and this is where we get into spoilers, y'all. Okay, so so if you care about spoilers, now's the time to leave. I think this is basically what happens. It might be 10 years, it might be 20, 100 years, I don't know. But this is right after the end of Xenoblade Chronicles 2. It might even be a combination where
Yep.
the end of Xenoblade 1 and the end of Xenoblade 2 kind of merge. Because if you remember, do you remember how the end of Xenoblade 2,
Uh-huh.
you remember how Xenoblade 2 ended, right?
Yeah, I was going to talk about that actually.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, it ended with the man, it was supposed to be a final battle, but I can't clearly remember everything, but I do distinctly remember the architect and how his name was Klaus and how half of his body was in a different reality and the other half was in this reality of Xenoblade Chronicles 2. And I have this one snippet where we can hear Shulk from Xenoblade Chronicles 1 when their final battle against the final boss of their area, which was the other half of Klaus, I believe.
Correct.
So, as a result, since what had happened during Xenoblade Chronicles 2 causes this massive event that, like, shattered everything they knew and created a new world. And in this new world, they called it their quote-unquote Elysium. I believe that's what I remember. And Rex lived on to live on with Pyra and Mithra as two separate bodies. Everyone knows what happens next. And basically, I would believe to say, in the event, it was a lot more than we anticipated. Not only did the world change, but it merged with another one, being the parallel universe from Xenoblade Chronicles 1, which would say it's just going to be a lot happening. Their peace was probably really short-lived.
Yeah. I would even say, because I don't know if you remember this, but after you, because the final boss of Xenoblade Chronicles 2 was Malos in that giant mech. And at the end of that, once you beat Malos, basically the finale cutscene was Pyra getting into the mech and like zapping the tree, the world tree, just annihilating it basically, and everyone basically just falling back down to the bottom of the world, which is now no longer the Cloud Sea, and is now this open actual land, and a regular sea, an actual sea, and all the Titans are sort of converging up to this land. That to me, I think that land is like the resetted world from Xenoblade Chronicles 1. When they reset the world, they go to this open world.
Yes.
That's not covered in clouds or anything. All these Titans with all this technology, or like Morrodane is covered in technology, You know, even the land of Moritha. I don't know. I don't know if that's
Of course.
going. I don't know if that's going to show up in this game at all. But to me, I think that this, like what we see in this game, is a distant future of that world. So like what we see from when the clouds disperse from all rest and they all we found out that Elysium was here all along. So basically, this is taking place on Elysium.
Yeah.
That. So and
Basically, that's what I wanted to believe as well.
and so
And there was, if you remember in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, more spoilers, there was the time when they fell, or they pierced the cloud sea, so to speak. And I think that was Moritha that you mentioned earlier.
yes.
All the way down there beneath the cloud sea, that for the Deadlands.
Yeah.
I thought that was so maddening. I was like, there, like for the most part throughout the Xenoblade Chronicles 2, I had always believed it was just a world covered in water. Everything below is crushed, it's dead, it's drowned. There's probably no life down there. Was I wrong? Yes. There was an entire atmosphere and ecosystem down below, but it was completely uninhabitable. It was hostile and everything. It was another world that was hot. It was just like destroyed. Like,
Yeah.
no question. Like, there was an ID that you pick up from a giant boss, and like so many questions were left in my mind. Like, why did they do this? What brought them to this point? And I never got to those answers, of course. And I thought that was cool. Maybe those answers are actually given to us from Xenoblade Chronicles X, because it looks like that's a direct connection to me. But I don't know.
Well,
And I want to see if they expand upon more answers for that entire event as well. But that might happen. I don't know.
yeah, so essentially, I kind of agree with you there. So me having played X, that well, I won't confirm or deny, but I'll say I think it has more of a connection to Xenoblade 1, that the Moritha there. I think they all have pretty much the same connection.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say, basically, once they get through the cloud sea and you finally, you get to that scene where it's boy meets girl, and Rex gets the core crystal, like Pyra's core crystal, and it finally lights up and you see both of them instead of one of them. Pyra and Mithra instead of just one. And that's
Touching fish. Yeah.
yeah, and that's where the and that's where the game ends. But they're heading towards this land, and so I think this is taking place on that land. And I will go ahead and say this is a crazy thing. I think these characters in this game might be, at least the main character and maybe one of the other side characters, are like descendants of Rex and his crew. Zeke, Rex, Nia, etc. Maybe not Nia. Nia's a blade, but maybe Nia. I don't know. This Nia-looking character in the
Let
beginning.
me see. I'm going to look at the characters real fast. Let's see here. Yeah. I think that's actually Nia, because if you remember, she's a blood blade, or a different name for that, blood eater, I think.
Flesh eater. Flesh eater.
She's supposedly flesh eater. That's the one. Supposedly flesh eaters. No, I'm wrong. They become mortal. Never mind.
Well, so they
And that begs another question: is this Nia's daughter?
Well, yeah. So they consume the flesh, or they consume something from humans, and they gain mortality. Like they become mortal. Mortal, like I guess a mix between mortal and immortal. Like they can't. I guess they can't die as easily as regular humans can, but they can still die, I guess.
They age. They definitely age. If you can remember from Torna, one of the characters that we encounter was a man. I can't remember his name now. But later in the base game, you do encounter him again, and he is a flesh eater, but he's a decrepit old man.
Yeah, that's right.
And
yeah.
he was a blade.
Yeah,
He was a blade. You saw him in his prime. He was a flesh eater then, and he's a flesh eater still. But
yeah,
he aged completely.
yeah.
And that
The
sort of
play.
thing meant that like Nia was also going to age.
Yeah, the theater guy, right? The guy who owned the theater, or, directed in
Yeah,
the plays and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
Which I also want to, yes, I also want to mention that like that's a awesome.
go ahead.
Is there a voice chat kind of like out of sync? Because I can't tell sometimes.
Yeah. You know what? It's I think it's like a couple seconds off. Minoth, that's his name. Thank you for clarifying that, Straight Jacket. Let me see if I can like end the call and join back. See if I can resync the audio back up.
Yeah, resync the audio. Yeah, a little bit.
Here, I'll leave and come back. See if I can do this.
How does that sound?
Hello. Are we in
Hello.
sync?
Kitty cat.
Hello. Oh, you see a cat? That's great.
Cat.
All right.
Okay.
Are we good?
Let me see. I need. Should be just perfectly fine on my end. Yeah, for the most part. Oh yeah, we're talking about Minoth, and yeah, he was named Cole.
Yeah.
Like,
In the base game.
you remember? In the base game, he was named Cole, but that was Minoth in his prime during Torna. And I found it really, the detail about Minoth being the theater guy, talking about Prince Adam and his entire thing, like that was a cool little detail that they threw in there, because like he was there. He was there the whole time. So I love that detail about Xenoblade Chronicles. That stuff is cool
and he
as
was
shit.
he was the one who introduced the characters to Amalthus, I think, too. Because he's the
Okay,
one who.
So
But yeah.
you say what you want to say.
Okay, but so I was gonna say, in response to Straight Jacket saying Mio is definitely related to Nia, I think the main girl character is named Mio. Yeah, I actually entirely agree. One, she's using the chakrams just like Nia does. I think that's an obvious nod to Nia, and her attire is kind of similarly colored to like her blade form. Her because she has sort of mostly, I guess, she has mostly white clothes with like outlines on the outer side. Oh, also, they're wearing some sort of like, if you go to, do you have the trailer video up?
I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it closely while I'm listening to you. And
Okay.
I'm like determining what characters are related to who as well. Because Mio is definitely related to Nia. I can confirm that they must be related. However, I'm looking at our main character here, and I'm like, the back of my mind is like, is he related to Shulk or is he related to Rex? Because personally, I definitely
Yeah.
can't make a say so. But
Yeah.
he's starting to look more and more like he must be related to Morag. Because if I look at Morag,
Yeah, you
I'm
know
gonna look at
what?
Morag.
Oh, that has some weird
I
implications.
might be on it.
Um,
It does, but at the same time, I need to see here. Morag.
yeah,
Okay.
you know what?
Let me take a close look at Morag.
That's actually not a bad guess, cause
It must not be. She was She was also in Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. Excuse me.
well,
Oh,
she
right,
was
one
a
of
spirit.
those.
Yeah,
Whatever.
she's yeah.
Of course.
Um,
Blah.
but
Swimsuit though.
anyway, so I think because I can kind of see him maybe resent. The thing is, I don't know. It's just that one. I think they're giving him Rex's voice actor. I'm pretty sure that, unless that's not him talking, but I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, I think if that's Rex's voice actor, then they're obviously alluding to something.
A bit too soon to say if Morag and Rex had a thing going on. I have a feeling that I'm looking at Morag's eyes, and she's brown eyes. Okay. The thing about Rex's character is that he's directly related to Adam. He's Letharian.
Yeah,
He's a
yeah.
direct descendant to Adam, and the only way you know for a fact is because gold eyes. Adam is a Tornin. As a result, Tornins are only race within Xenoblade Chronicles 2 that only had golden eyes.
Oh,
so
wasn't
seeing
that
this main character have blue eyes says he's not related to Rex, and he's probably more related to Morag.
But
There is another character I wanted to talk about as well, but you say your spiel first. I don't want to overcrowd.
Well, I was going to ask, did Laura also have yellowish gold eyes? Laura.
I'm trying to see who else has gold eye. Okay, that's a Urian. That guy's a straight up Urian. Looking, okay. I think that's Laura I'm looking at with the hammer.
My dog knows how to open doors, so he opened my door and I had to go shut it. But okay, is that what you're looking up? Laura, I guess. I don't know. Continue.
Hold on now a minute. Hold on a minute. That's the same kind of Nia attitude. I think there's two direct descendants to Nia, but I'm not entirely certain. I'm looking at this character one more time. Okay, those are blue eyes, but if she does have brown hair.
Okay, so
all I know for a fact
you're talking about this
is that
Lancer.
whoever's related to, yeah, the Lancer is who I'm talking about right now.
Yeah, she's wearing
With wings on her head.
Yeah, you know what? The wings on her head. So I'm getting into Xenoblade 1 territory here.
Yeah.
Do you know who Melia is? Melia is?
Okay, so Melia should be the princess, am I correct?
Yeah, she's the high Intia. She's the one that's kind of grayish, bluish colored. She's got the wings on top of her head.
She's reminding me of that one. She's reminding me of her.
I'm thinking she might be related to her and someone in this game. I don't know. I don't know if they're, well, knowing Xenoblade, they probably will connect it to that, like to these characters. But, and you're talking about the one with the yellow like the yellow and black jacket, right? And yeah, you said the Lancer.
Yellow and black jacket.
Yeah. So, yeah.
The Lancer. I'm not looking at a yellow and black jacket. Wait, I'm confused. I'm looking at the wings on her head, brown hair, blue eyes, with a lance, I think.
Yeah.
I don't see yellow and black. I see black, black, and black.
Oh well, I'm looking at it from a different angle. I'm trying to find. Do you have like artwork of her?
Oh, okay. You're on a different part.
Yeah, I'm on a later image.
Yeah. Okay.
But
well, I've got a great view of the note pawn. I'll tell you that much for a fact.
Oh yeah, let me get to that because that's an interesting thing about the note pawn too. I think.
Yeah, I'm looking at them, and the first thing I'm coming through my mind right now is neither of them are Edge. I'm seeing Shonen Jump characters.
Huh.
I'm definitely seeing Shonen Jump. Okay, we're on the same thing. 115 is where you need to find them.
115. Oh, thank you. Okay.
Should be on 115 somewheres.
Ah, here we go. Okay, okay, thank you for showing me where this goes, because I do kind of almost see something with these characters. The orange, like, pink one is wearing a poppy hat. A poppy style hat.
She does. So that makes me wonder, did something go like Tora planned in his life? Or
Well,
Tora's a very, very smart character. So I'm very certain that he would have found a way to procreate with said artificial blade. I mean, we were all thinking, come on.
Well,
So
well, I'm not saying with the artificial blade, because then we'd have some weird humanoid robotic artificial blade, no pun, Freaking
I'm
abomination.
very certain that's what's happening.
Abomination of a
Okay,
character.
first of all, I'm looking at their weapons. All right, I can't see the orange ones well enough.
Yeah, it's
Let's see
weird.
if I can't get a better. Well, hold on, let me try that again.
First of all, I like the afro on this blue ones though. I don't know why, but
Oh my god, those are straight up poppy eyes too.
what?
Oh no.
I don't like the
Yeah,
I don't like the imp.
I
I'll wait until that's.
Oh.
I'll wait until that confirmation. Okay.
I'm very certain they're related to both Tora and Poppy. How? I don't know. All I know for a fact is that those eyes and this guy, I'm pretty sure they're related, like a brother and sister. And I'm certain for a fact the blue Nopon's gonna have the heroic hero spiel to him, and his sister's probably a white mage, for all we know.
What I'll say.
But like, oh my goodness. Yes.
I'm seeing some on the blue Nopon. I'm seeing some aquatic features, like on the face. It looks almost like a fin. Like on the side of his face.
That's his wing. I think that's his wing. It's just on a different angle.
Well, because his
behind him.
Well,
Oh, wait.
his wing
Oh, no,
is
I see it.
his wing is holding on to the orange Nopon. So
Yeah, I see that too. But I also think that like that's his scruff on his side of his face, like a sideburn.
well, it could be. I was gonna say maybe he could
If
be
it's
like
if it's fin, it's
a
fin.
like maybe it could be like a Orion or Urian Nopon. I don't know
I
if
wouldn't
that.
know about that yet.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen like different versions of Nopon. So other than just the different colors of them, but that's interesting. Um, I'm also liking the look of the weapons, and this is making me think like, okay, obviously we're gonna have more than one Nopon to play as in this game, so that's cool.
Oh, whoa, wait a minute.
Wait, what?
I just saw it. Mio has golden eyes.
Oh, what?
There it is. Holy shit, she has gold eyes.
Oh, she also has the freaking flesh eater thing on her. Okay.
She is related to Rex and Nia. Oh.
Well, you know what?
Well then.
So Pyra and Mithra. Okay, this is getting into weird territory, but Pyra and Mithra, they're full blades. In fact, they're the Aegis, right? So, I don't think procreation. I mean, there's no confirmation or denial from Monolith Soft towards that, but I don't think it's
Hold on. So,
you know. It's
I
a
love how
weird.
the first thing I see is Reddit. Is this
Reddit?
so?
Oh
A
no.
way to ask this subtly.
Wait, the gray.
Okay.
So I'm looking at Straight Jacket's comment. The gray skin guy, Lons, kind of looks like Adam and Rex in the hair as well. Gray skin. Do you mean? Oh yeah. Well, I thought he might resemble like a Malthus or something, but I guess he's more gray than blue, because a Malthus is like
I
straight.
looked at his eyes. I looked at his eyes for like the split second I got to look at him. First off, no, that does not look like Rex in any sort of way. And seeing Mio having golden eyes, I want to say full-heartedly, she's related to Rex. Full-heartedly.
Okay, so here.
So let me look at the Orion guy one more time. Almost. Okay, yeah, he's related to Zeke.
Which one? Oh, the.
He's the Orion with the giant like sword. He's Zeke. He's totally Zeke. Because if I go back to Zeke, I'm pretty sure Zeke also has purple eyes.
Well, Zeke is Tantal, which is like kind of half descendants of Torna, I guess.
Tell me.
They come from like a similar life.
Yeah,
how do I explain it?
Well,
No,
I think
he doesn't have purple eyes. But I don't think like they have the same eye thing as Tornins do, but they come from the same history they have a history with Tornans. That they do.
Yeah.
And it's because what happened to Torna, they were living in seclusion for their safety from the Aegis and war itself. So they were mostly cowards, but like I want to say he's related to Zeke, but I can't completely tell.
Yeah. I will say, looking at sort of I'm on 33 seconds in the trailer, and I'm looking at this guy's attire. It looks very like formal, you know what I mean, like regal. Your
We're
theory,
talking about our main MC.
yeah, the main character on like 33 seconds in, he's
Yeah.
wearing like regal attire, almost looks like. So I wouldn't put it past him having some sort of relation to Morag, and just the like man bun he's got going on. Like basically,
It's definitely the bun.
basically the same hair. Because have you ever seen the costume with Morag without her helmet on?
Yeah, I have.
It's literally the same hairdo.
She looks so cute. She looks so cute.
But yeah, it's literally the same hairstyle. So that's making me think that this could be a maybe, if not descendant, just very closely related to Morag or the Prince Nile or whatever. Because I think they're supposed to be brother and sister, right? So Morag is.
I suppose so, yeah. But there's this next thing I want to talk about now.
Okay.
Where if you go to 41,
41.
you'll see musicians. 41.
Okay.
Go to 41, you'll see musicians, and they're wearing the same outfit as our MC. So this tells me he's actually just a musician,
Oh.
but they got caught in a time of war.
Oh yeah, they're
That's
all
all
wearing
it
the
is.
same. Okay. Like
Yeah, so he's like in some sort of like elite musicians group. That's what I can tell. And I want to say that like the flute itself may not have any like magical qualities to it. I want to say that it's just a centerpiece in the relationship
Well-
between him and Mio.
the only rebuttal I have to that is if you go to the beginning of the trailer, when the guy's playing when the main character's playing the flute, you see this particle effect around him. If you go to
Yeah, and you see a particle effect with the musicians as well.
well, so maybe it doesn't do something specifically, but it still has some sort of significance. Like maybe the melody itself does, or could this be the play about Vandom? That would be hilarious. Because you remember at the end of
I don't know yet.
you remember
I
at
don't
the
know yet.
well, like the end of that chapter that Vandom dies. Spoiler alert. But Rex asks
Yeah.
Cole to write a play
Such
about
a
Vandom,
man.
right?
Oh, he did.
Yeah,
I
don't you remember?
that. Okay, yeah. Give me 2 seconds. I'll come back, Rad. Come back in a second. Gotta sync back in.
Okay, that's okay.
Okay, so I'm back in. Is it working?
Yep.
Good.
Yeah, we're
All right.
here.
Hopefully nothing looks crazy, because like desync is harsh. Anyway, so
Well, I'm not seeing a
here's
camera.
the guy lands kind of looks like Adam and Rex in their hair as well.
Yo, can't see the camera though.
Oh, you can't see my cam. Oh, hold on a minute. My bad, man. I got you.
There you go.
Sometimes it works. Sometimes I don't think about it.
All right, we're
Sorry
good.
about that. So
But yeah, continue.
lands. Let's see. Lands. Who the gray skinned guy. Okay, so this was the Orion I was looking at. I initially thought he was Zeke. Now there's no confirmation behind him being related to Zeke yet. All I know is that, well, he's got a tattoo on his chin that I could see for the first minute. He's got some significance. Okay, he's got like blood red eyes, but also purplish eyes. Okay, now I'm looking at his hairdo.
Yeah.
I want to look at Zeke one more time. I want to look at Zeke one more time. Zeke, give me your, let me look at you. I look at you, my boy.
It's never.
Okay, yeah. All right, yeah. So I'm looking at Zeke's hairdo. Now I'm looking at Lance's hairdo. I see a distinct resemblance.
Okay.
Okay, so is it too soon to say? Probably. But
Probably.
I want to say he's somehow related to Zeke.
I would say most of these characters might have some relation to the Xenoblade 2 characters. Okay, I was
It
trying
seems
to.
like that's the biggest cause, but yeah. But then there's the other characters that we see that, like the Hammer Girl, for instance. I have not a clue
Let's-
in my mind who she's related.
Well, like, so I look at this Hammer Girl and instantly think it instantly reminds me of all of the hammer blades from Xenoblade 2. So I'm wondering, like, what's it, Cassandra and Finch, the bird, and Electra. They all
Ah, the
use
bird.
the hammer. So I'm thinking this might be like maybe maybe all of the characters are like related to the blades somehow.
That's hard to know. Her hair is glowing
Yeah.
and like everything. This one's a this one's a full-on mystery to me. I may never get an answer. She looks like, if I look at her arm, she has like this line going through. She might just be a blade.
Yeah.
She might in her own right be a blade. She could be a flesh eater, but it's not obvious.
Yeah.
And of course we get Van Ham again. Van Ham.
Van
again.
Damme, yeah. Okay.
Yes.
And he's got an eye patch now. Obviously
Oh,
this is
he's
a
very
different
old.
this is a different Van Damme, but he's I'm assuming he's going to be like a military general because he's a military general in all the games. So he's going to be the leader of some sort of mercenary or general group. Mercenary.
Definitely.
But yeah, that X on his face was a dead giveaway. But
Yes.
glad he's coming back. So in some form. Okay, here's an interesting one. If you you skip to 51 or 52. This dude with the
I'm
glasses.
Right here at 51.
The dude with the glasses. He's got some weird like paper plane monster that he's shooting at people. It's weird. It's like
You know what he reminds me of though?
Gambit. Continue. Go ahead.
He actually reminds me of Akos.
Akos.
Or Akos.
You know what?
Yes.
You're right.
He looks exactly like him too. Well, no, I take that back. He doesn't look exactly like him, but
Well,
he's reminding me of it.
It's the glasses, isn't it? Probably the glasses.
It's the glasses. The glasses.
Well, so I'm pretty sure it's not him because I think all of Torna died in the at the end of Xenoblade. Like right before the last chapter,
You're right.
they were killed by Malthus. Patroka, Mikhail, Akos, and Jin just sort of faded away.
Didn't Mikhail get also caught in that explosion?
Well, Mikhail, he's the one who like transformed the ship and like fought off the Titan.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he died fighting. Okay,
Yeah.
good on him.
Yeah, he became one of my favorite characters after that. I was like, whoa, you got a whole,
He was always my favorite.
you got Optimus Prime in this bitch.
Holy shit, he can fight!
Yeah, right.
I liked him a lot for that.
Yeah, so I don't know what to think about this this character here. He looks like he might be. I think he's going to be a villain of some sorts, or just an antagonist, or on the antagonist side, because he's.
Oh no.
I think he's shown attacking like one of the characters because.
I'm reminded of something actually. Did Laura survive?
That's a good. She was in the ship when it went down.
She should have been in the ship. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing because that was the whole reason Jin did everything that he did. It was all about Laura. And if you didn't know, for everybody watching right now, I played Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Torna.
Oh, I played it too.
Before the base game.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Before the base game. And I was actually genuinely surprised that people don't think that's a great idea. So it was a different experience for me playing the base game after all of Torna happened. so seeing that Jin was evil in some way, and he stabs through Rex's chest and then leaves him for dead, and everything after seeing how sensitive he is and how he's a good guy and how he loves Laura, and that Laura wasn't there and Malos was there and everything. It just like, there was so many questions. Like, what happened?
That's
And of course, as I played the base game, I think that was the biggest thing that kept me going in the base game was I want answers. All of the answers. These characters are great. It's all going well. But I'm more concerned about Jin and Laura. That's what I want to know. And it became a different experience. And I appreciated every single second of it afterwards.
yeah, I
So
could
I
see
wanted
that.
to know, like, did Laura survive? And if that's the case, were they able to? Was she able to continue on? Because damn man, like, yeah.
Well, the only contrary I have to that is one. Well, I don't think we ever saw the ship like blowing up or anything. I think it probably just sank down into the cloud sea at some point. But remember, I think at some point, Jin admits to quote eating her heart. Don't you? He to become a flesh
she
eater.
should be dead.
Yeah, to become a flesh
she
eater.
should be dead. Yeah,
Yeah, like he
she
ate
should be dead.
because I think that's how they become flesh eaters is like through quasi cannibalism. But they never show that happening, so I don't know. Maybe it's just maybe it's a translation error. But unless it's a translation error, like they actually consume parts of the character, maybe like vampire style or something. But I don't know. But maybe you didn't eat anything that was like vital organs, because then why? I don't know. I find it weird to like, oh, I'm gonna eat your heart and then I'm going to crystallize you in this crystal, in this, capsule for 500 years.
Yeah, this perma ice.
Yeah, cryostasis.
Now that I'm looking at this dude with the glasses, I'm starting to see a striking resemblance to Laura.
Yeah, she wore glasses too, didn't she? At some point.
No, she didn't.
No, she didn't.
Actually.
No, she didn't.
I'm looking. Well, okay, yeah, you might be right. If she did wear glasses. But I'm seeing the hair Laura has, and I'm seeing this dude's hair, and it's like, you must be related. You've got the eyes as well. And I'm seeing all sorts of Laura on this guy's face. So I want to say Laura did survive somehow, but I don't know.
So if you skip to 1 minute and 14 seconds, we get a more in-depth look at this guy. He's sort of fanning out his arms and he's like dispersing all these freaking card birds, or like freaking, I don't know what to call these things, but I'll just call them paper origami.
Yes, here we go. Oh, sweet, he has a dual disc.
Yeah, I was about to say that. He's got a freaking dual disc. He's literally the king of games.
He's got a dual disc.
We got the king of games.
But now that I'm looking at him, it's even more reason to say he's related to Laura, because look at his outfit. Look at how it's textured. Like, it's got this, not the texture. Look at how it's like sewn together. It's got white, it's got reds in it, it's got blacks. Like, he's got the same color scheme as Laura does. I want to say they're related. I sincerely want to say they're related somehow. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. I don't care.
Yeah,
but I want to say they're related because there's so much happening here.
Yeah, it's just I can't like my thing is I can't see how Laura could possibly, but
I agree.
That's another like only time will tell thing.
Only time, because like I want to say just for a theory's sake of trying to explain it, I want to say that Laura did survive when they got sent into the cloud sea, because it must have been enough time for the clouds to disperse after they were sent down in there. And Laura was still encapsulated. Mikhail definitely didn't make it.
Yeah.
But
because he was a human.
Laura still did. He was human, yes. he was still human, but Laura still survived because she was within that capsule. That capsule may have had been strong enough to withstand the cloud sea and make it. So, that being said, she must have been encapsulated for God knows how long before she was found. And when they found her, they were able to take her out somehow, find out she was missing a heart, replace her heart
With
and
a
then
core crystal.
She just died.
With a core crystal. Replace the heart with a core crystal.
Plausibly.
Like, you remember how...
Plausibly.
You remember the story of...
Zeke did it.
Yeah, Zeke, where he was like, oh, remember when I almost bloody died? Blade Eater.
I guess.
A Blade Eater, that's what it was. They
Yes.
could have found her in cryostasis under the cloud sea, and yeah, okay. Okay, I can see that then.
To me, that makes a lot of sense. And if that was the case, she survived, she came back to life, and the only thing going through my mind now is like, what is going through Laura's mind through this
Yeah.
entire experience? After she's revived, she's like,
Oh, yeah,
where's Jin?
Yeah,
Where's Hayes? What happened to Minoth? What happened to everybody I know and love? And Prince Adam this, Prince Adam that. Like, where are her friends? Where'd Mikhail
Yeah,
go?
Mithra.
And blah,
Mithra too.
blah, blah, blah. And Mithra. And Mithra, of course. The Aegis. Like, she has so many questions going through her head. And God knows where the story goes from there. It could go from anywhere.
yeah, that's an
But
interesting
I want to
prospect.
know. I really want to know what led her through her life after. If that happened. If that happened exactly how it happened. Because if that's true, then we know this random guy here is related to Laura somehow. Because he's got the eyes. His hair looks exactly like hers, except that it's darker. So,
Also,
honestly, God knows.
interestingly, he seems to be on the same side as the... I forget her name. But the one with the jacket on, the black jacket, and the lance-like weapon. She and him...
Amelia related relative.
Yeah, she and him seem to be semi-related. Or maybe not related,
Yeah,
but,
I'm
you know,
gonna say-
on the same team, or at least.
Yes. Yes.
Because I can... It appears like we might be seeing sort of alliances coming together or coming into contact and then eventually, you know, forming... It's hard to say. One thing I did want to bring up is I'm seeing a lot of mechs.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Didn't mean to interrupt you. Continue your thing.
Oh.
Continue your thing. You'll get back to that in a minute.
Well, I was going to say, I'm seeing a lot of mechanical machinery, like stuff you would see in Xenoblade 1, like all these mechon, and even like stuff you would see in the original, like Colony 6 and Colony 9. Like there's this, if you go to 101, the time on the timestamp 101, there's this big ass like vehicle. It's got wheels and everything, and it's like trampling over the world or something.
Oh yeah,
And then a couple seconds later,
I want it.
it like on 102, there's this city that almost resembles Morardane's like empire. The Empire of Morardain almost looks like that.
It does look like Morardain. This must be Morardain. I want to say it's the future of
Yeah,
Morardain.
yeah, you know, yeah, like a
'cause
very
so much has happened.
like a very hyper developed Morardain. They went from, you know, steampunk era to like, and remember that the Morardain Titan was dying, right? So now, now that they could, perhaps if they were to like build Morardain on a more, you know, flourishing land, they could build it up more, you know, I guess more modern like, because I guess because of the decayingness of Morardain, they weren't able to build it as, you know, robust as they wanted to. But here, you know, it's more electronic rather than mechanical, right? So that's an interesting prospect.
Definitely.
And also interesting enough, if you stay on here,
Now,
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm desynced. Hold on 2 seconds, please.
All right.
Video call. All right, that should have fixed
We're
it.
back.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
So, you want to go ahead? I want you to do your thing next, please.
Okay. Well, so on this same timestamp here, there's a different character at play here. We can't see the front of her. But it looks like a female, but she's got black hair.
I'll
And
look at her one last time, running around. Boom. Okay, that's Hammer Girl. That has to be Hammer Girl. She's just in a different outfit.
oh, okay,
Yep,
yeah.
there it is.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I see her hair. It's the Hammer Girl.
Okay, so we play as her at some point then.
Yeah, she's definitely one of the main characters. Definitely.
So I would say that these characters, it's probably, I don't know how to explain this, but I think we might be playing in the same gameplay style as either Xenoblade, like Torn of the Golden Country, or where you can control. Well, see, I don't even know if we're going to be going back to the whole blade mechanic anyway. But I think you can play as everyone that you encounter. It's not like Xenoblade 2 where you can only play as the drivers and the blades just help. I think it's going to be more like Torn of the Golden Country where you can play as pretty much everyone that's in your party. And even Xenoblade 1's like that too, where
Yes.
you can just take control of whoever's in the party. Because we're seeing multiple different characters here. I think we're seeing 5 if we count the Hammer Girl, Leather Jacket Girl, with I guess Malia's descendant girl, and then the main character, Nia's descendant or whatever, and even this guy with like the guy you said looks like Akos and is kind of related to Laura. I think all 5 of them might be our characters, and maybe one of the Napon. I don't know.
I think it's both a Nopon, because usually we have a total of 6, and they didn't want us to focus too much on the Nopon.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure Tora did bang Poppy, but we don't know yet, so moving on.
Well,
I want to move a little bit further down now.
Okay.
I want to look at 122. All right.
122.
I'm not fully aware of what happens in Xenoblade Chronicles 1, so I don't have much to talk about on this one.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like Melia, but I want to also say this isn't Melia. I want to say this is someone who's related to said Melia. Somehow.
Well,
I don't know, though. That's the problem.
So because I don't know how far you are in this, I will say I can almost guarantee it's Melia because of something that happens to Melia later on in the game. And
Well, shite.
But it's because of the mask, and I think that's why they're masking her. But even if it's not, I mean, the mask could really just be anything. But I think that would be the biggest reason to mask her, because then you'd be like, why is Melia in this game? But I mean, people are already asking that.
Not in this game.
Yeah, but then if you go to 26,
124. Oh, 26? We're going down to 26? Sorry.
Yep, that's obviously
We're
Nia.
26.
There's no way that's not Nia.
Wait, 126, not 26?
Yeah, 126. I'm
Sorry.
my mistake.
Hold on. I'm pausing it.
No.
Okay, the best look for Nia, though, would be at 124. Unless I'm at the right thing. Or 122. It doesn't matter. Like, the full body shot, okay?
Oh yeah.
Obviously, Nia. Obviously. Ears, correct. Top body type, correct. You can see the crystal. Get a close-up on 125 or 126. See that core crystal being flesh eater. It's Nia. Like, full on Nia. We know.
Well,
So this brings up another question. What brought Nia and Melia to fight like this? And what caused them to have so many resources in the first place?
Yeah, you know what? Because they seem to be, in a high status, right? They seem to be the leader of something and commanding something.
It's just so much happening here, and I'm not sure why. Like, it seems as if the creators wanted Xenoblade Chronicles 1 to fight against Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Yeah,
Obvious.
that
Because we have Mio. We got Mio, who's related to Rex. Our main character looks related to Morag somehow, but I'm pretty sure he's actually a different character from a different pairing. Oh no, I know who he's related to. He would be related to. God damn it! What is his name? Sword guy with the katana blade. First guy with a Monado. Who's his name?
Dunban.
What is his name?
Dunban.
Bunman.
Dunban.
Dunban. He's definitely related to Dunban.
Really?
It's the way
Katana.
he looks.
Oh, he does use a katana too.
Yeah, he uses a sword just like Dunban would, and that leads me to believe he's Dunban, and
He's done.
really Morag.
He is done.
True. And then we can go to Hammer Girl, which I now want to say is related to Morag.
See, I can't see.
Yeah, I'm gonna say she's related to Morag.
Well, I mean, I guess there's nothing keeping Morag from, because she's got the like kind of furry ears, so I don't know. But I mean, like I said,
Wait, we're
this,
looking at Hammer Girl.
yeah, she's like, if you look at her head, it's kind of almost, it's not really, it's hard to tell from this angle, but no, maybe.
It's definitely the angle you're looking at.
Well,
Because
because
I'm getting a good look and I so noise.
well, so I'm also looking. I see. So this hammer looks very mechanical looking, like something from Morardin. So yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
I also want to say that she's related to Morag, but she's also a blade eater.
a blade eater. I was gonna say
Why?
that because of the color of the like lines going down her. Because the
Yeah,
blade eaters.
and the hair.
Yeah, because the blade eaters have a blue look to them, and then the flesh eaters are more.
Oh no! What did they do to my Bridget?
Yeah.
No,
Oh.
Bridget!
Oh no! Don't tell me they infused her with Bridget's core crystal.
I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
Oh, like
She must have been.
like Morag had a kid, and then she was like, "Bridget, please keep my kid from dying," or something like that.
Yeah.
Inject her
basically.
with the core
I'm
crystal.
pretty sure.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting guess. Okay.
Okay, so and then we got guy with glasses. I want to say is related to Laura. And then we got Nopon, which I now want to say is the blue one's related to Ricky, and the orange one is related to Tora.
Yeah. So because we don't even know if the regular blades can procreate. We'll just say that. So I highly
We don't
doubt.
know about regular blades now.
Yeah. So I would highly doubt that if a regular blade can't, and we don't know one way or the other, but then there's no way that the artificial blade could. But we don't know who Tora would get together with in the first place. So it's it's an up in the air question.
We all know Poppy was directly like designed for things.
Oh, yeah.
That was not
Yeah,
what people were expecting.
Yeah,
but
all
it
you-
made sense.
Yeah, all you gotta do is look in Tora's wardrobe. That's all. All you gotta do.
All you had to do.
Um,
All you had to do, and it's terrifying, but it is what it is.
Okay, so I'm trying to see if you skip to 106. It looks like there's a character
106.
writing something. My vision is blurred here. Hold on, let me turn it up to the vision up a little bit.
106.
Yeah, 106.
Hold on, I'm looking at 106 one more time. Characters. I don't see any characters writing anything. Hold on, let me
Okay.
look further.
Oh, that might be just something in the background then, because I'm seeing, I guess the Nia's descendant right here, and then the main character, and then
Yeah.
Hammer Girl. There's something on the other side, but I guess that's probably something in the background. But so we're sticking to the 3 characters in a party.
Seems to be 4 characters.
Okay, so that's what I was talking about. There seems to be something in the back, like, see, I don't have it in.
Oh, that's the Orion guy that we can't quite pin down.
Okay, so that's why he just looks just very large. Okay.
Out of place. Yeah.
Interesting then.
So
So 4 characters in a party then.
yes, and I like that idea.
Well, so Xenoblade X had 4 characters in a party. So maybe I think they might be. See, this is another thing I think. I think the ending of this game, because Xenoblade X happens on a almost a completely different timeline than Xenoblade 1 and 2. But I think this game might be the future of 1 and 2. It might lead to the beginning of X. Somehow. I don't know how this would work, but it's hard to say because basically X takes place in the modern time. I mean, this is no spoiler. This is like within the beginning of the game. Xenoblade X takes place like basically a couple of years from now, which is kind of crazy. But like how far, how close we are to that apocalyptic scenario we are from when the game came out. But yeah, so just the fact that there are 4 party members means I think they're taking some pointers from X and like injecting them into Xenoblade 3 in the 1 and 2 style. I would even say that here's a question. Do you think the battle system will be more similar to Xenoblade 2 or Xenoblade 1? Because the Xenoblade 1
I don't know, man. Hard to say right now. It's too soon.
Because in Xenoblade 2 you had to like press the A, B, X, and Y to pick your moves, right? And then you had to switch between your blades. In Xenoblade 1, you had to select your arts on a palette. And then you had to...
Yeah, I do remember both of those.
And then actually Xenoblade X did that same thing, where you had to select the arts on a palette. It did it in a more, I guess, a different visual style, but it was basically the same thing as Xenoblade 1. Xenoblade 3, that I guess we might even see something about that in at E3, because if the game's coming out in September, so that alone means we're probably going to see a lot of Xenoblade 2 soon, or Xenoblade 3 rather. We're going to see more about the game soon.
I'm looking forward to that too. That's going to be really good.
But and I'm looking at this environment. Some of these environments, it looked like they might be combinations of multiple environments from across all the games. Actually, if you skip to 108, right? Yeah, 108. It looks like 108. Oh, there's a dog. There's characters swimming.
Doggo.
Please get down.
So, and then if you go to 109 as well, this was an interesting part of the video. It looks like you could like do boat rides in this game or something like that. Like you can control.
And I'm excited for that because that's gonna be so much more useful than like swimming. Swimming.
Well, especially if this world is
sucks.
like completely open and you have to like swim from continent to continent. That's gonna be a life-saving quality of life improvement. And actually,
there was also the grinding thing that we saw earlier too.
I'm seeing some of the monsters. Like if we stay at the same point, there's this like sea serpent looking monster that looks kind of cool. And then I think there's something off to the right. I can't quite tell if that's a monster, or if it's a part of the land or something. But then this island we're seeing in the distance, I'll just say, looks awfully similar to something we will see, or something we see in Xenoblade Chronicles. In fact, it looks like the first continent in Xenoblade Chronicles X. I know you haven't played the game.
It must be.
I know you haven't seen it before.
I don't know anything.
But I had this theory a long time ago. When I finished Xenoblade Chronicles 2, I said that I had this theory that what if Xenoblade X is Xenoblade Chronicles 2 far in the future? And I said that as a guess. And now this game is actually making me think that even more. I'm like, whoa! I'm seeing this land that looks like Primordia, which is the continent that I'm referring to. But
Yeah.
I saw that and I was like, this might prove my suspicion even more, because I said that on a Reddit post a long time ago and everyone was like, no, that couldn't possibly. You're full of yourself. And I'm like, don't you know. In fact, so Xenoblade X takes place on a planet separate from Earth, because the Earth was destroyed and all the people had to move to this new planet.
Of course.
This new planet could be the reset world from Xenoblade Chronicles 1. I'm putting these things together and it's just like, whoa. And this could be why the humans can breathe on this planet, because it was made to be a copy of Earth. It's
Of course.
just putting puzzle pieces together here. So I think this could be a converging of all three of the timelines. So I don't know.
I can't quite tell. Honestly, I would need to play all through X and 1 to confirm with you on this one, because
Yeah.
I've only played 2.
Yeah.
And X in my brain looks more like it came before 1 and 2. So I just have to say, like, it sounds more like it happened. It sounds more like X is the world before Xenoblade Chronicles, because I have no idea what happens after X. I really don't know what happens. So I'd have to see what happens
Well,
before I go further with.
the only thing I'll add is that the final thing I'll add is the reason what takes place in X is like it's like, because obviously in X it's a very obviously more sci-fi than either of the games, right? You got this more mechanical, everything's all mechanical and robotics and stuff, and space battles and stuff in the very first scene of the game. They bring all of their technology to this new world, right? So my original thought was that it might have taken it that apocalyptic scenario could have taken place at the very end of, or at Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Remember Xenoblade Chronicles 2 in Klaus's backstory? There's like this space battle going on, and it's right before he hits the reset button. Yeah.
Yes.
So
I do remember this.
yeah, and that was his flashback. And he basically, there's this space battle going on. He hits some button, and the whole world goes to shit. And I thought, oh, that might be why the people are escaping from Earth, because there's this crazy mad scientist dude about to blow up the world. So all the people from X.
A way of speaking. Yeah.
Yeah, but okay, that's the end of my injecting X into this, because all I'll say is, like, just this environment reminds me of the first continent from X, and that's just where I'm coming to. But continue. So
Yeah.
So you got any other additions to questions that need to be answered on here?
Well, I just want to go ahead and say my theory so far. Like, we've already labeled and pinned down the whole theory, most of it at least. Like how 1 and 2 smash together like this. The only issue that we're holding on to is where is Xenoblade Chronicles X? You said it was afterward. I'm saying it could be before, but again, I'd have to play X to really confirm with either of these theories. But the reason I want to say X came before 1 and 2 is because the space war at the end of Xenoblade Chronicles 2, when Klaus is about to hit the button to reset, we see a space war as well going outside. So it makes me wonder, where in X does Klaus end up being a part of the game. And if he isn't, then I have no clue where X is a part of the game. But you've played it before, so if you believe it's at the end of Xenoblade Chronicles 3, so to speak, then then it's at the end. But it doesn't quite, to me, it doesn't quite make sense. It makes more sense that it's before still because, what is that place called again? Mithra,
yeah.
Moritha. Yeah, Moritha. When we got to Moritha, the parallels between 2 and X got so blurred. There was a lot from Moritha that I saw from X. That there was technology, there was research, there was buildings, there was civilization. It was highly advanced. So it stands to reason that there was a civilization long before Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and 2 began their stories and got split. So what happened in Xenoblade Chronicles X should have happened before 1 and 2.
Oh my God.
What happened between the two is Klaus's backstory and how he's in the middle of it. But I don't quite know.
Actually, you know what? I think I got my theory completely backwards and I cannot tell you why, but I'll just say my original theory from like my Reddit post like a couple of years ago was kind of what you said, because there's something that happens like at the end of X that is like that to me, this is like, oh, this is the freaking world tree. This is the world tree right here. They just had to build a world tree right here, and that's it. Like if they built, that's as easy as I could say it. And there's a continent somewhere in X that has like these giant tree, branches that could, that in a certain amount of 100 years could grow up around this building that could eventually be the world tree. And it's like, oh, of course. So I think it could kind of go either way. It just depends on, it depends on how you look at it. And honestly, I think this game will sort of give us an idea about that. But it's hard to say. I think
it really is.
Yeah. But so I do want to let me see if there's anything else in here, because I'm moving to 118, and this kind of reminds me of one of the. This almost looks like. I think this is a boss.
118.
Yeah, where the main character.
Oh, this.
Yeah, where the main character and Nia, the Nia girl are back to back, and they are looking at this mechanical
enormous fortress.
Yeah.
It's like it's got to be a tank. It's not a full-on mech. It's a tank. It's a war vehicle of some sort. And there's a lot about this that looks like it got parallel. It got like, what is that city called? The one in Xenoblade Chronicles 2. What is it called again? The one with the holiness and whatnot.
Oh,
Praetorium.
The Praetor. Indol. That's it. That's the Titan.
Yeah. It looks like it was built by Indol. That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah,
so
like
and Indol has a history of war.
Oh yeah,
no question. So this makes complete sense that this was built by Indol or Indol's descendants.
Yeah, because Amalthus wasn't the only Indolian or whatever you call his race.
Yeah,
he wasn't the only one.
Yeah, he wasn't the only one.
He just put all his citizens in danger when he like friggin' attacked the world tree and stuff. But
oh, definitely.
But I'm pretty sure he had some successor that would eventually become the Praetor and just do whatever he did before. And Amalthus like lived for 500 years pretty easily. So
he lived a damn long time.
So who's to say Amalthus's son won't live another 500 years just for this game? So
or someone who just believed in an Amalthus's cause.
Yeah.
Which was war. which was to destroy everything. So it makes sense to see that like there are still people out there that believe that war is necessary to quote unquote cleanse the land, cleanse the world because of a man who gotten completely insane.
Well, not only that, if you, I'm also kind of seeing if this sort of combines Xenoblade 1 and 2, what if this, a Malthus successor met with the Mechon or
Hmm.
and somehow got help from the Mechon to like make this mechanical beast here or whatever. I'm just saying there.
I don't know.
I think there's some weird alliances going on here. I think there's it has to do with. I think Mechon are obviously have something to do with it, and I would even say, like you said, end all. There's some parallels going here. We'll just say that.
I don't know. That's the thing, because Mia is also like at the. If we're going with this theory, Mia herself is on the seat of I want to destroy the world, which is not Nia at all.
Yeah.
So I don't think they want to destroy the world, but there's still the history of war, and there are technological advances to get to war. I want to say, since going on the theory that Xenoblade Chronicles X came before 1 and 2, I want to say this was reverse engineered from mechanical things that they found from the war from Xenoblade Chronicles X to recreate this massive war fortress.
Yeah.
That would mean that people from Xenoblade Chronicles Run also had access to said scraps and technology to where they could reverse engineer things into work it into their own technologies as well.
Yeah.
So this means that both sides have fair game on technological advance, but that's what makes this war more interesting because like who's gonna win? Who's actually gonna get close to winning? No, it's not obvious.
Well, so
So,
here's another interesting thing, and I took note of this at the beginning of, or in my reaction to this trailer. If you go back to 44 where they're playing the flute,
Okay.
they're wearing clothing that you wouldn't normally see in a, in the Xenoblade 1 and 2. They're wearing like almost space suits. Like Mio's wearing
Yeah.
like a spacesuit, and then the main character is like wearing this like I don't know what you call it, but some kind of it looks modern, almost modern, right?
It looks drippy.
Yeah.
He's got some drip.
But the reason I mention that is it looks very similar to something you'd see the characters in Xenoblade X wearing. Now, this could be to your point where they might have, once the dust settled on the land of Moritha, they might have found some, I mean, ancient clothing and be like, hey, let's see if we can make this again. And they do, or just the technology improved and they ended up making better clothes. I don't know, but it just looks.
Yeah, I can say it's a fashion sense mostly.
But and it could be just conditions of the world, because usually that's what clothing is. Like the clothing is made to tackle the conditions of whatever climate that you've been in. So like that's why people in Canada, for example, they have more jacket style, or more bundling clothing up there because it's cold up there, whereas in Florida it's hot, so you wear stuff like that. But so I'm thinking something with the conditions of this world, or just like you said, it could just be a style choice, but I think there's a reason why these clothing look more modernized than like Xenoblade 2 and Xenoblade 1's clothing. So, and that just could be a timeline thing where, we're a few, maybe 100 or so years in the future, and, times have changed, right? So, clothing.
Times have definitely changed.
I'm trying to go to this sunset scene here. If you go to
with them like exchanging their flutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, got it right.
Exchanging flutes. That's a great way to put it. Uh,
That's
it
what they're doing.
it looks like we are in sort of a world
It looks
tree
like
looking.
Gormott.
Yeah, yeah, almost like a combination of because I'm looking at this and that looks like a world tree, but it's too short to be the world. And they destroyed the world tree.
Yeah, it's way
so-
too short.
Yeah, and
Yeah, so it looks like Gormott.
yeah, it could easily be Gourmet in the future. I'd say there's really not much going here, but this could be like a, like the Pyra and Rex scene where they're sitting in front of the campfire. This could be that, basically, for this game.
I just realized
Uh-oh.
what happened to Pyra. No, There's two theories.
Oh, okay.
I want to say first theory is going to be the good one, where the world is put together finally, and they begin civilization to civilization adapts somehow. But there's another thing that Pyra and Mithra must do, like there's some sort of machine, probably some sort of task that they've been given to regulate the world they live in, to make sure it stays the way it is, so to speak.
Yeah.
So they were left to that device, so to speak. So Rex is left with nobody because, he's alone. So this is where Nia walks into the world, and the rest there is history, obviously.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that's the first theory, the good theory. Second theory, civilization adapts poorly. Pyra and Mithra try to have a decent life with Rex, but life turns around and starts to be a jackass, and they somehow get killed? Question mark? It's not clear how they would get killed, but it makes sense to me that somehow they would be overpowered or captured in some way and disposed of, probably. That theory doesn't make sense now that I'm saying out loud. So the first theory makes way more sense.
Yeah,
I'm going to say that they're just left to some sort of task to regulate something important in the world they live in.
Okay, this is a crazy. This isn't really a theory, but just sort of a joke theory. What if, like, at the end of everything, Rex is the villain? It's like, Rex is the
God.
like Pyra and Mithra were just like, you know what, Rex? Fuck the world. We're gonna do. And then it drove Rex mad, and he became like he became the descendant of Amalthus.
Oh no. Oh no.
Watch that actually be
That's crazy.
Watch that actually be the story.
No.
If that happens, I would I would sell my game. I would sell my Xenoblade 2 game.
Game. I'm selling this. Why? I don't like it.
Yeah. But I'm gonna assume that's not gonna happen. But that would just be hilarious. But yeah, I could see because Pyra and Mithra are separated now. So, at the end of Xenoblade 2, they're separated. So, because I was going to say, at some point, maybe Pyra just kind of... Because the Aegis, quote Aegis, was originally just Mithra. And then Pyra somehow created... Or Mithra somehow created Pyra subconsciously, and that's how we had the two personalities. But, like, at some point, Mithra didn't need Pyra anymore. So she might have just... Pyra might have just, faded away because of the no need for Pyra at some point, and now it's just Mithra. That's I don't even really know why I have that theory, but... And there's nothing really to back it
That was
up.
a bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a bit of a stretch, actually.
Because once they're because I'm not really connecting that to anything in this trailer anyway. That was just a thought.
As far as I understand, Pyra and Mithra were both that Aegis that was supposed to be the gift of creation. Because there were three Monados, so to speak. There were, in theory, three Monados. One of knowledge, one of creation, and one of destruction. Knowledge was seen in Xenoblade Chronicles 1. supposedly one of the characters that Shulk encounters that tries to tell that like knows everything about him, so to speak, in the Monado he uses.
Oh,
He's a very peculiar character.
I know
But
who
then,
exactly
like,
who you're talking
we
about.
know, you know exactly who we're talking about. So he's, in theory, the Monado of knowledge. And then Pyra and Mithra together create into a different character who is the Monado of creation.
Yeah,
And Malos is
Manuma.
obviously the Mnuma, yeah. Mnuma is the Monado of creation, while Malos is the Monado of destruction.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it became very obvious that Pyra or Numa and Malos were created for a specific purpose of creation and destruction to keep balance. But because Malos was given to a Malthus, like a dummy, he was corrupted in his theoretical programming.
Yeah.
And as a result, he just wanted to kill everyone. Why? Because he could, basically. He
Yeah,
took
'cause
it
he-
from a Malthus's whole personality of I want to destroy everything because I like to destroy everything. And
Well, you remember
Malus just adapted to it.
if you remember Malthus, he had to where he had. I mean, it was a short backstory, but he had that story where his, I think his mother got kidnapped or something. No, his mother pushed him down a cliff, and then just to save him from some kidnappers or something, and then he walked up to the kidnappers having killed his mother, and then he just smashed their head in with a giant rock. And then I think a couple of scenes later, we saw a Malthus, on some Moses type shit where he's like profiting, healing wounds of these of people, and like he heals one guy, but then he finds the same guy he healed like ransacking some house and
That's right.
about to kill a baby or something like that, and then he's like,
and he gave up on the world after that.
Yep. Actually, I think that baby was probably either Adam or Laura.
Hard to actually say because I think Malos was there as well when that was going on.
Oh, that's true.
I'm just wrong.
Maybe, I don't know. I don't remember. It's hard to say. But
I don't really remember.
but yeah. Yeah, like you said, Amalthus just gave up on the world. Malos was just kind of like, oh, you hate the world? Well, I guess I hate the world too. Okay, let's destroy it together. So.
All right, sure. That sounds like a lot of fun, actually.
Yeah, that's basically how Malos came out.
And it was lucky for Adam to actually get Mithra at the time, because Mithra's personality program rubbed off from Adam's sense of not just justice, so to speak, but his good-hearted nature, his willingness to please others and to serve others. And that rubs... You can see most of that coming from Pyra, because Pyra is like, I will take care of you. I will look after you. I will be a good person. And all that.
It's almost like Mithra kind of... Like, Mithra came out kind of the arrogant side, but then once Pyra came along, Pyra was like the gentle side of Adam, I guess. Like, they were...
Yeah, and it makes sense, because it would have to do with... It was... Mithra being more of an intense version of Numa, where she was like light incarnate because she's that powerful, but then you go to Pyra and she's a lot more gentle. So it makes sense that their personalities reflect this.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just sort of scrolling through these Oh my god. Okay.
Oh my god.
I'm skipping to 1 minute or 59 seconds to 1 minute in. And I'm seeing a lot of Xenoblade Chronicles X here in these environments. I'm just like, this is some stuff that I've seen before, and it's kind of blowing my mind a little bit.
All right, so where was it again?
So at exactly a minute in to the video.
Okay, hold on.
Like-
I'm looking.
It's this desert.
And I found it. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the desert, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I've never seen that in Xenoblade Chronicles 1. I have not seen it in 2. So this is definitely new.
Yeah, so there's these almost like archways or something that,
Yeah.
but these are things that if you played Xenoblade Chronicles X, like these are some things that they're just kind of background details, but you'd only see them if you played X. And it's like, this is a desert too. And the stuff in X also happens in a desert. And this is just like, oh, this is making me
Wait a
think.
minute.
It's coming together. Oh boy.
It's all coming. Oh yeah, it's all coming together.
So I think all of this is like, it's bringing everything together. And then if you go back to 57,
Yep.
this looks like an obvious aftermath of the Bionis and Mechonis, because that's obviously Mechonis' sword. Or is it
Absolutely. I was told about the same thing from Straight, about how there was Mechonis' sword. I mean, we saw that at the end as well. If we go all the way over to the title screen, you can see
Yeah.
that sword right there.
Yeah, with
beside a head of a Titan, which I believe it can be two things. It could be either Torna itself or it's Gormat, but I don't think it's Gormat. It looks more like it could be Torna, but I can't tell whether their Titan looks like that.
Yeah, it's like the decayed remains of, because the Titans, they didn't need the Titans anymore because they merged with the land. So that's just the decayed remains of the Titans. So
Yeah.
yeah, I could see that. Maybe the middle one is, or I guess, because the thing on the right is the sword, or the left is the sword, but the thing in the middle
Yeah.
is probably Torna's Titan, and maybe the one on the right is like the Gormat Titan, because it looks almost like a deer antlers, because I think that's what Gormat's supposed to be.
Yeah. I
So-
was thinking that.
But yeah, I could see that.
Actually, let me look at Torna's Titan one last time just to make sure.
Because the Torna's Titan is like a dragon.
It is a dragon, yeah. It's a dragon.
Yeah, and so I'm looking at
It's
this.
like, okay, and it looks nothing like Gormat either.
Mhm.
Hold on, I'm trying to get a good look at Gormat, but it's not easy to see. Hold on. Okay. I'm gonna go back to Gormat. It just could be a random Titan, for all we know.
Well, yeah, it could be that random Titan in the beginning of Xenoblade 2 that just falls in the ocean. You never see it. You never know. But the only reason I say it's because it's got the sharp teeth, and so.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, and it definitely doesn't have Gormat's horns. I want to point that out as well. It looks different. It just looks completely different.
yeah.
So let me look at all the Titans from X to
Oh no, that's not what I want.
Titans from XC2. We got, let's see here, all the Titans. Okay, there's go away. All right, so these are the trending pages apparently. These are not Titans. I asked for Titans. Go for Titan, I guess.
So when Google
let's
Google
see.
doesn't want you to see what you're looking for. Okay, I'm finally looking at
No,
this Zeke.
frustrate.
Finally looking at this Zeke character. That's definitely the purple lightning smasher, or whatever he calls his sword.
Yep. Uh-huh. Well, you remember them.
The purple lightning dream smasher, or whatever he calls it.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Uriah. That looks like Uriah a bit.
Oh, you're right. I am so sorry.
I'm gonna go kill myself now.
Oh,
it
no.
looks like Uriah to me now. Now that I'm taking a close look at it, it does look more like Uriah. So
Okay.
yeah, I think it's Uriah.
Like they put
Interesting how it
Uriah,
became a mountain.
like they put Uriah's head on top. They Mount Rushmore'd Uriah.
Yeah, they did it. Yeah, Yeah, they did it.
They somehow hoisted Uriah's head and put it on a mountain. That would be crazy if that's what actually happened. Or Uriah
be
just
funny.
that's just where Uriah landed, and they somehow just carved
Yeah.
Uriah's entire body off and left the head.
Well, here's how I'm seeing it. He landed there, and because he was dying, he decayed over time and turned to stone.
Yeah.
And the whole entire inside, you can see like how it's like hollowed out, like some sort of explosion or something happened. That's not an explosion. That's just his body caving in.
You know
That's
what?
just-
That
that's his-
entire
He's just dead.
that entire formation is Uriah. That's not two Titans. That's
Yeah.
one. In fact,
That's a whole Titan, yeah.
What
you can
if-
see how it looks like a whale? Like
Yeah.
if you were to reconstruct the inside, it's got the whole whale thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just that the inside was fully hollow and huge, so it makes sense that it just caved in over time.
you know what this is also reminding me of? I don't know if you ever saw the first trailer of Xenoblade Chronicles 2, but the first thing, the very end of the trailer, the first Titan you saw was Uriah, and it was
Uh-huh.
moving across the screen as the camera pans out to Rex, holding the Aegis sword. Uriah's
yes.
Titan moves across the screen, and yeah, I think this might be a callback to that. But it's like, oh, now Uriah is, basically dead, hundreds of years dead. It's snowing on top of Uriah. So, I would even say, what if? Because you see this Bionis Mechonis sword in the background. What if, like, the end of Xenoblade, the reset of the world, brought the Bionis and Mechonis here, and somehow the sword just fell on top of Uriah and cut him in half? I don't know.
That's I don't see that. No, the formation would be way more different than what it is. I want to say that when the world got reset, I want to think it's the same thing. Have you played like Metroid Prime 2 Echoes? How this one planet by the name of Ether is like separated between light and darkness, so to speak. They're like two different worlds, but the only way you travel between the two is by using portals. So it makes sense in the same sense of that idea. I want to say Xenoblade 1 and 2 were the same planet, but we knew that they were already in parallel worlds. So at the end of the end of Metroid Prime 2, both of the worlds did not collide.
Mm-hmm.
One of them had to die off naturally. But I want to picture that like they instead came together. Like everything that was sitting all together, like all of that just collided in its own way. I don't think everything blew up. I just think when all the smoke cleared, that's where everything ended up.
Well, yeah.
Like, yeah, it just in its own weird way. There's Mechonis' sword, and then there's Uriah that just so happened to land right beside it.
Well, yeah, it's because Bionis and Mechonis, they were also Titans. So,
Yes.
like this world could be just the combined decayed matter of all the Titans. Yeah. So,
Yeah. That makes sense to me.
yeah, because I think even was there like a bottom? I don't think you could you ever get to the bottom, like the ocean under. Well, I don't think I ever got that far, but under like Bionis and Mechonis, you couldn't get to the. I don't think there was any point in the game where you could get to the bottom, like the foot
No.
of Bionis and Mechonis. So
I don't think you could ever get to the feet of them. You can only get to their ankles or shins, maybe, but you never got to the feet.
yeah, so
And there was no point to do that.
yeah,
It was always all the way up at the top of the Titans that mattered.
yeah,
So to see like Xenoblade Chronicles 2 finally get beneath the cloud sea and then find more fuck it. The dead people, the land of the dead. And see
Yeah.
all of that, like it just everything for me came together after learning about Xenoblade Chronicles X. It just said that this world is just split apart.
yeah.
That's
So
all that there is to it.
you know what too. Well, I can't say much because you haven't played X at all, but.
Not yet.
Somehow the I'll just say that's where I think the core crystals came from as well. I'll just say because because X is a very, technologically advanced, and the core crystals came before the world, was like, before Klaus hit the reset or hit the self-destruct switch or whatever.
I can definitely say for a fact, Klaus is indeed the architect. His name is not just something that people decided to give him because they wanted an explanation to something. He built everything. He designed the Titans. He designed the Blades. He designed everything that had happened in Xenoblade Chronicles 1. And he designed everything that happened in Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Now, did it go exactly as he planned it? Absolutely not. But everything that was made to be a failsafe or anything that was made to continue the livelihood of humanity in different ways that caused different races to emerge just all came from Klaus. He built the core crystals. He built the Titans. He did everything. How the Titans and Blades worked and interacted with one another. And it just makes complete sense that, like, when it was all said and done and it was finally time, like, Klaus let go, the reset happens once again, and then the world merges back together. And now it's more stable. This is what Klaus wanted. He wanted a stable reality where humanity could flourish. So this is why, like, the Titans have all merged into the ground, because this was all planned out in the first place. So it makes complete sense that you say from Xenoblade Chronicles X, the core crystals are made there, because that's where they were developed. That's the time in the timeline that they were developed, and they didn't see any use until we get to XC2.
Yeah,
because that's when they actually were, their purpose was made.
Now,
so it was all cloud.
So I'm changing the I guess the timestamp. Go to 106, I believe. See if you can see. I'm looking at this sort of beach-looking area.
Look at your thing. Okay, I see what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Looking for a beach. It's kind of hard to do because, like, everything's kind of snappy. Found it. Okay.
Okay. So 106. I'm trying to see. To me, this reminds me. It's either, what is it? Letheria's kind of reminds me either of Letheria,
Definitely.
or
It's definitely Letheria.
Or it reminds me of that area in Torna. Because there's an area in Torna's Titan right before you get to the palace that's like covered in sand. This white sort of
Oh yeah,
light
I see
sand.
that too. Yeah, I see that. That's better. I think the trees also came from Torna as well.
Yeah, because this color palette of the even that giant, whatever that giant monster is, that's got to be like a freaking. That's probably a unique monster or something. Because
Yeah, of course.
that looks stronger than like the T-Rexes in the freaking Xenoblade 2. That these monsters look like a interest. Like they took inspiration from
They
probably
definitely came up with some ways to make them dangerous.
yeah, just more menacing looking. Like, damn.
Oh yeah.
Um.
You thought the gorillas were bad.
Yeah, and if you go to 108, I'm sure there'll be another gorilla. There's a level 81 gorilla in X too, just so you know. Huh. But so if you skip to 107 or 108, we see this like seahorse kind of animal in the background. It looks like there's something riding that as well.
Yeah. There's definitely like some sort of what's the word I'm looking for here? Come on, my brain. There's some sort of sentient creatures involved in this as well. I think there was already sentient. This might be those creatures from Uriah that we encountered.
Yeah, the ones that
in the
were guarding
game.
that gate. I think there was some point
I'm
in
pretty
Orion.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, like a.
I think those are those descendants of those creatures, just like intelligent enough to create and to like take control of other creatures like this.
Yeah, because I think there were a couple different like intelligent like creatures in 2. There were the little turkey things that you were having a lot of problems with last stream when you were playing that. But there was also those like gorilla things in Tantal that like hold the staffs up.
Ah, yes. Yes.
But yeah, there's a couple different
I don't
things. Let me see if I can
It's a
find.
lot of stuff to talk about.
I think that pretty much covers everything. Oh, last thing to talk about. If I go to 19,
19 exactly. Okay.
19, 20, that's about it. Actually, 20 is a little better because there's more stuff going on here. You see a big explosion going on? And
Yes.
yeah, this is kind of
Looking at all of it. Okay, so go ahead.
yeah, this is kind of reminiscent of like that first battle, the first scene with Dunban and Mumkar and what's the other one?
One car.
How?
That random dude. The guy. I know what you're talking about. The guy with the gun blade.
Yeah, and he's got the guy with
I
the
know who we're talking
long,
about.
the guy with the long hair and the beard. He's kind of old. Duncan.
Hulk Hogan with long.
Is it
that's
Duncan? I think it's Duncan. Yeah, they were.
Probably Duncan. I don't know. I'll look back.
Yeah, I forgot. But they
I'll
were
look back at
they
that
were
later.
all teaming up and they were fighting against the Mechon. This kind of reminds me of that battle. Where it was I guess
Yeah.
all the Homs were going against the Mechon. And looks like everyone's got Monados now and guns when they didn't have them all back
Yeah.
then.
War has definitely changed.
And it
And
actually,
I wouldn't say it's for the better. It's for the worst.
well, see, it actually looks like the Mechon are now on their side. Because if you skip to 24, yeah, 24, they're behind the people and they're looking in the same they're like going in the same direction as the people. And they're covered in
Yeah,
blue
that's definitely
lights.
Mechon. Yeah, that's definitely Mechon. And I want to say that's Melia's doing. That she's in control of the Mechon and whatnot.
Yeah, true. I
And
wonder.
So
So I remember here. So I'm going back to your statement before about what if Nia and Melia are like going against each other at some point. Like Nia has some force and Melia has some force, and it's a war or something. I don't know. It's
I can't quite tell. All I know is that Nia has a reason to fight against them, while they have a reason to fight against her. Melia, I think it's kind of obvious to see what's going on. Melia is trying to keep the peace in her world, in her kingdom, in her domain, and as a result, she has control of Mechon. She has control of all these things that the people use, of course, and everything else. Hers is more like infrastructured. It makes sense why she's here. Nia is a whole other bag of beans. I don't know what brought her to be at the forefront of Xenoblade Chronicles 2's side in this matter, where she's in charge of anything. I want to think that something happened between her and Rex. Nothing. It's not like they had a divorce or anything like that. I don't think that's what actually happened. I want to think that something from Melia's side killed Rex.
I was
And
just gonna say.
Nia couldn't stand for it.
I was just gonna say.
Nia would not be able to stand for it. Yeah.
Something happened to Rex. I was just gonna say that. I think
Something.
Rex died. Maybe died. He went out with a bang. Maybe hundreds of years ago, or I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
20 years ago. I don't know. But
I want to think that Rex was in charge of the domain of we'll just call it, for the sake of Indol, just call it Indol's domain. Let's just say that Rex was in charge of Indol's domain, mainly because he was in control of the power of the Aegis at the time, and something had to have happened to where they were trying to extend an arm of peace toward Melia's domain, where they were trying to work something through. And during these peace times, like, a horrible incident must have happened while he was at the domain of Melia. And this caused him to get killed. It may have been an assassination. It may have been an ambush somewhere on the plains where no one can find it. It's not certain. Maybe it was an explosion. Maybe it was an accident. Maybe there's a reason things happened the way they did. All I know for a fact is that Nia did not like it. And I want to also think that Nia has no trust toward Melia's domain.
What if they?
And as a yes,
What if they did something to Pyra and that caused Rex to go against them?
I wouldn't know.
Or
we don't see either Pyra
yeah,
or
we don't.
Mithra.
Well, we don't see Rex either. So, but that could be a flashback or some sort of backstory on Nia's character or something like that. Because I mean, the one character we know is here is Nia, and something ain't right, so, but
Something definitely isn't right.
but it's weird. Something happens with, and I forgot about this too. I don't think this will have anything to do with it, but at the end, this would be an odd tie over, but in the 2020 trailer of Mithra and Pyra being added to Smash Brothers, at the very end of the trailer, there's a scene of Mithra fighting with Shulk. And it's made in the exact art style as Xenoblade. In fact, the whole trailer looks like a Xenoblade trailer, but it cuts from a Xenoblade trailer to Smash gameplay, and then at the very end, it's Pyra and Shulk sort of fighting. I don't think that has anything to do with this, but
I don't think so either.
Because
it may have been just a nod to, oh, this is what might be Xenoblade 3. I don't think it was actually like them telling us like this is how it's going to be.
Well,
this is what actually happened.
Well, no, I don't even see that because they like work together in if you do any of the DLC stuff with Xenoblade 2, like they know each other, but I don't think that's
of course.
I don't think that's supposed to be canon anyway. Maybe it is. I don't know, but anyway, I think at this point like it's hard to say really anything, but I think a majority of this stuff we kind of have a grasp of what's going on. I'm trying to wrap things up, for the stream at this point, but yeah.
Yes.
I think for the most part we got a good sense of like where all these characters are coming from and where like just a good analysis of what all of these scenes take place in and stuff. So any sort of last ideas or thoughts you can think of with about this whole trailer that we missed?
Honestly, I want to say that I like the direction that they're going with, and I want to know more. It's just I want to understand why Nia has been put into this kind of position that she's in, and I just need answers, basically.
Mm-hmm.
More answers. I would like this trailer to answer everything, but it doesn't. Naturally, it's a teaser.
Yeah.
So I will definitely get the game. I will definitely get those answered, but in time, one thing at a time. So that's my closing statements.
Yeah, last thing I'll note too is I don't think, because in Xenoblade 1, and like I know you haven't been that far, but Melia is not a villain character in the game, so whatever Melia is doing here, she's probably got her own like personal reason to do this, if she's like the antagonist of the game or whatever. So I would say whatever Melia is doing here, like it's like there's a reason for it, but it's probably just resulted in something happening to Shulk. In fact, I would even say that what if someone related to someone from Xenoblade Chronicles 1, like someone related to Shulk, Ryan, Fiora, or Sharla, something happened to one of them and now they're mad, and because they went after, they like invaded and did something to Rex, and now Nia's mad, and now they're both mad at each other. I don't know. Could but we don't see any.
There's definitely an outside force.
Yeah.
I'll say that. It's not clear what it is right now. It could be a Malthus's heir or whatever, or it could be the aliens that still live. and want to kill humanity in some way. It's hard to say.
Oh yeah,
I don't know.
because there are still aliens from Xenoblade Chronicles X. I still want to see that connection in this game. That's the one thing I want from this game. Is them to acknowledge that X is part of this timeline somehow. But
Somehow, yeah.
also, where do you think Xenosaga with Cosmos and Telos, where do you think they fall into this? Because Cosmos and Telos were both in Xenoblade 2 as blades, and that was kind of an easy thing to do because the blades aren't really main story characters, so they could just add random characters in there and not really affect the story in any way. Do you think they could do something like that here, or would it be more significant?
No, I think the Xenosaga on its own has already hit closure, so to speak. It's like
Yeah.
finishing a first act, so to speak. I think that's the way of putting it. So whatever happens in Xenoblade Chronicles X, it's just a prequel to 1 and 2, and now 3 is going to be our closing act.
Yeah.
So whatever happens at this point happens. I don't know anything about Xenosaga. I don't know if it's actually connected to anything. But what I do want to know for a fact, and what I do know for a fact, is that I don't think it has any more influence that it would have on these games as much as it did on X. Because I know it should have had a lot of influence on X.
Well, I will say yes. There are some obvious nods to Xenoblade Chronicles. It's not blatant, but like you look at things like there's probably more because Xenoblade X Xenosaga had a lot of philosophy in its games. Like there's a lot of philosophical things. Like actually, I can't even talk about one of the characters in there, but it's like blatantly obvious about what one of the games are talking about. And Xenoblade X brings up a lot of that stuff too. There's no specific things, but like one of the, the conduit at the end of Xenoblade 2. That's like the thing that's lit up that's right behind Klaus,
Yes,
like
I know what you're
on
talking
top
about.
of Klaus. That's a thing that's a recurring object in all of the Xeno games. Like that's one, but that's some sort of divine object or something like that. But that shows up everywhere. That's actually
It must be some sort of like perfect masterpiece machine that came way early. It could be both human technology and both alien technology.
Mm-hmm.
And of course it transcends time and space. So as a result, it allowed Klaus to hold both parallel universes that he somehow was able to do. But he didn't create it, so he has no control over it. He's just stuck.
Yeah, I think they called it the Zohar.
So I don't know. The Zohar?
Yeah, I think it was called the Zohar in Xenogears because it was in Xenogears. I never played Xenogears, but I've heard it was called the Zohar in Xenogears and Saga. I think Xenoblade 2 was the first game where it was called something else, and it shows up. It shows up.
Sense.
It shows up in X as something else, but you look at it and it's like obviously that. And then in Xenoblade 2, it's the same shape as Pyra and Mithra and Malos' core crystals. So
Yes,
they're in the same shape. But yeah, so it shows up in X as something else, but it's like obviously the Zohar / conduit or whatever. But yeah, so I think we had a decent enough, talk on the subject of Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I think.
Yeah, we've been at this for 2 whole hours.
Yeah.
And more.
I wouldn't be. I think it'd be a surprise. I'd be satisfied if any of the things we talked about today came to fruition in the game, or I'd like to be surprised too. I mean.
Oh yeah.
Xenoblade's no stranger to surprising us, so I think we'll be pleasantly surprised either way. Any closing statements on that?
I had a great time. I don't think I have anything else to say. I'm super happy we had this talk and that I Oh, there's just so much to look forward to. I will get the game. I will.
Mm-hmm.
I will definitely say that. That's my only closing statement. I'm getting it.
Oh.
There we go.
Finale. What? Because this game is coming in September before the winter. Do you think it'll be Game of the Year material? Depends on what else is coming
That's a
out.
hard. It depends.
Well,
It
because
does
isn't
depend on what else is coming out, but it also has to do with the fact that how popular the game series is, which is not. So.
yeah, and
I would say
also
no.
and also, do you? Because I heard that Breath of the Wild 2 is supposed to come out this year too, and if Breath of the Wild 2 is coming out,
Super exciting.
yeah, if Breath of the Wild 2 is coming out, yeah, I don't see this game winning. But if it doesn't, like, what does it have to compete with on the other systems? That's what I'm saying. I guess we'll have to see.
Well, we do have Fortnite. Not really.
I mean, it's the beginning of the
Fortnite
year.
at this point is basically dead.
At the,
It's basically dead.
it's the beginning of the year, so we don't know much about most games. In fact, Nintendo is usually the first thing we know about in the year. So, because they always have they have a direct every quarter, I think. But
Yeah.
which I think that's an advantage Nintendo has with a lot of their titles anyway. But I guess we won't really know what a Game of the Year contender will look like until E3, when all the other companies start bringing out the big guns. But I think we got a special one here. There's got to be something happening in E3, and I'm super excited to play this. I'm so glad I'm surprised it's coming out this. I guess they had plenty of time to work on it because they finished Torn of the Golden Country in 2018, so they've had almost 4 years to work on it. So yeah,
I had a lot of time. Excuse me. I had a lot of time to work on things. I had a lot of time to think about things. So I am ecstatic to know what they've done.
yeah,
It takes a long time to make games. So yeah,
especially
I'm looking forward to high quality. I'm looking forward to answers. So yeah.
yeah, answers for sure. All right, well, that's it for this stream. Thank you all for watching. Anyone who tuned in at any point in the stream, I'm glad you were able to, take part in this at any point. With that being said, where can they find you at?
And can find LuckIzLucky on Twitch at Luck_is_lucky. As you can see on the bottom of the screen right now, you can find me. Wait, did I say Twitch or Twitter?
You could see it. Twitch or
You can definitely see it. Yeah, that's my Twitch handle. They can see my Twitch handle. They can see my Twitter handle, and they can see my YouTube handle on the bottom of there. I'm also on TikTok and on Instagram, so you can look me up on both of those if you have the time. That's basically it. That's where you can find me.
All right, and obviously, you're watching my channel right now, but you can watch me on Twitch as well /TactMuse. Hello, there's somebody back there. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel, GS Scurry. It stands for Game Sergeant Scurry. And yeah, that's basically it. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.
Bye-bye.